Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're going to do a head-to-head between the Thrunite Black Scout Survival version 4 in camouflage and the Olight Warrior Mini 2. So Thrunite reached out to me. They said, hey, do you want to do a head-to-head? And I said, yeah, cool, let's do it. So Thrunite is sponsoring the video. I do feel like there's some similarities. There's also some differences between these two lights. So let me talk through the details on each one, and then I'll talk through some of my initial thoughts about comparing them, and then we'll certainly take them out to the night and use them. All right, so first off here, we have the Black Scout Survival version 4. Let me give you some of the information on what you get with the actual light. So obviously you're gonna get the flashlight. It does come with an included 18650 battery. You're gonna get your instructions, which you can see right here. You're gonna get a little carrying pouch or sheath. I don't use these very often, but nice to have that as a little something extra thrown in. They do have some information to say basically screw down the tail cap and the head of the light. Excuse me, there was a bump it. The head of the light to make sure that it's all connected so it'll work properly. You do get a pocket clip right there. You do get your red lens, which I'll show you that in a minute. You get your micro USB. I hope someday they will switch to a USB-C, but that's their charging system. And then you get a lanyard, some extra O-rings, you get an extra pressure switch, just a couple extra kind of replacement parts for the light. All right, so let me give you some details on the light. Your LED is an SST70 LED. It does have a smooth reflector. The working voltage, 2.7 volts to 8.4 volts. It is made of an aluminum alloy. As far as your outputs, you have a Firefly at 0.54 lumens. That's going to run for 56 days. A low at 33 lumens. That's going to run for 55 hours plus 42 additional minutes. Your medium is 350 lumens. That's for 4.5 hours. Your high is 1426. That's going to run for 130 seconds. Then it's going to drop down to 634 lumens for 150 minutes. And then your turbo is 2523, and that's going to run for 125 seconds, then drop down to 614 lumens for 147 minutes. And then you do have a strobe at 1200 lumens for 210 minutes. It is drop resistant to 1.5 meters and IPX8 rated, so waterproof down to 2 meters. Just to show you real quick here, that's what the camouflage looks like. Sort of like a splattered finish, but very cool. You do have this aggressive bezel, which you can see. This does pop off. You just twist it off like so. You can have it without the aggressive bezel and nothing additional. And then you can also put the red lens on, which I'll do now. So there's the light, and then there's your lens, and just basically twist it on like so. And now when the light comes out, you can see that it's red. So that's what that looks like. Let me put the pocket clip on for you as well. So there's a look at your pocket clip. You can see you have probably just almost an inch sticking out from the end of the light when it's in your pocket. There's your USB charger, micro USB. So just plug that in, then plug it in the other end into your computer or into your wall. You do have a pressure switch on the end. You do have these two little side fins, so you can end stand it, or what do they call it, tail stand it. It's a little bit hard to do on this surface I've got here, but yep, that'll work. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, your switch over here. So you have a function here and a function here. We'll talk through all the different functions in just a minute, but definitely a nice size light. If you're familiar with the Phoenix PD35 tack, it's about that size. So I do like that light. It's about the size of some power tack lights. So yeah, it's a nice size light and the cool logo for Black Scout Survival. All right, as far as your function, so if you hold down the side pressure switch, it's going to come on at Firefly, and then tap it, it's going to go off. If I just tap it, it's going to come on at the last setting, and now if I hold it down, it's going to scroll through the different outputs: low, medium, high, low, medium, high. If I double click, it'll go to turbo. You can't really see the difference on camera, but you'll see it outside. Click it again, and it will go off. Triple click to strobe, so strobe warning. Click it again and it goes off. So that's the side switch. Now if I press the end pressure switch, it's going to come on at the highest output. Now it does also have a lockout feature. So if you hold down the side switch, it's going to come on to Firefly. Now it's on Firefly. Hold down the lockout switch or the side switch, it'll go to lockout. Now if I bump this side switch, you'll see it'll flash red. Show you up close. Basically saying it's locked out. If you want to get it out of the lockout mode, just hold down the side switch again. It'll come back onto Firefly, click it, and it goes off. All right, onto the Warrior Mini 2 from Olight. A couple things to note about this. You similarly have the side selector switch, and then you have an end pressure switch. This is magnetic here, and you also get the magnetic charging cord to attach to this. So this one I unboxed a while ago, but you get the magnetic charging cord, you get the ring that I've attached here, you get your pocket clip as well, and this does come with an 18650 battery as well. So those are some of the kind of items that you'll get with the light. Let me talk about the outputs here. So you have a low, medium, high, and a turbo, as well as a moonlight. So your moonlight is 1 lumen, that's going to run for 45 days. Your low is 15 lumens for 164 hours. Medium, 120 lumens for 19 hours. Your high is 500 lumens, that's going to drop down to 200 lumens. Your high is 500 for 218 minutes, and then it's going to drop down to 200 lumens for 55 minutes. Then your turbo is going to be 1750 for 4 minutes, 500 for 206 minutes, and then 200 for 40 minutes. So kind of a triple drop down there as far as the outputs at the turbo level. It is IPX8 rated and drop resistant to 1.5 meters. I mean, similar as you can tell, there's some similarities between the two lights. You've got, from the Firefly all the way up to the turbo. This one is a little bit smaller, and let's put them side by side and talk through some of the things we could compare between the two. All right, so size-wise, the Warrior Mini 2 is going to be a little bit smaller. You also get this ring, which, they're basically saying you can throw this on a finger and kind of use it as while you're actually holding a weapon, and then kind of swing it out of the way. I'm not going to use it with a weapon, but it is nice to have just that little extra ring. Pocket clip is going to run a little bit deeper on the Olight as compared to the Black Scout Survival, but not a huge difference. I do like the fact that this has a magnetic tail cap. I do like the fact that this is able to stand quite easily. You can stand this guy if you I find it's a little bit wonky. This one I think will stand a little bit more in a more stable way. You do have the end pressure switch and the side selector switch. I do like the rubberized end pressure switch. That's just my preference. And I do like the fact that you just basically hit that and it's going to go directly to your turbo. So that is, I think that's a win of the Black Scout Survival. As far as the overall look, I mean, you have the all black here versus the camo. The Warrior Mini 2 does come in a couple different options. They are harder to find now because Olight kind of does these sales with the different colors and then they disappear. But you can find them in some other colors out there on the internet. Let's talk through Olight function here. If you hold down your side switch, it's going to come on at Firefly, and then press it again and it'll go off. If I tap it, it's going to come on, and then if I hold it down, it's going to cycle up. So you can see that low, medium, high, low, medium, high. Double click the turbo, triple click to strobe, so strobe warning. Again, if I hold it down, it'll come on at Firefly. And then if I keep holding it down, it'll go into lockout mode. So again, bump that, it'll say no dice. Gotta hold it down and it'll unlock itself. A couple other features worth noting about the Olight. So you have the end pressure switch, right? So if you hold it down just slightly, it's gonna come on at your medium, push it all the way in and go up to turbo. Now you can kind of tap it in and it'll lock in. Tap it, it'll go up. Press it, it'll go off. You can push it in all the way and it'll stay on at turbo, and then press it and it'll go off. It also has this feature where if you get close to it, let me put it up another level, you'll see it'll drop down because it doesn't want to overheat. See that drop down? And then it'll eventually shut itself off after a minute if it's not being used. So kind of a photosensitive feature, which is kind of cool. So you don't burn yourself or fry the gear out or burn something. All right, quick weight comparison here. Here's the Black Scout Survival first. And put this on. And it is coming in at 4.915 ounces, and that's with the battery. And now here's the Olight Warrior Mini 2. 4.685, so a little bit lighter for the Olight. Now between the two, you're looking at about 800 more lumens coming out of the Black Scout Survival than the Olight. Certainly if you want something that's a cool color or very different, the camo is going to stand out compared to the black. If you want something really subtle, then probably go with the black. If the difference of up to 2500-ish lumens versus 1750 for this one makes a huge difference, then obviously you got to go for the Black Scout Survival. If it's not a huge difference, we'll see kind of what the throw of the light, what the spill looks like for each of the lights, and what might work better. I do like that this has a USB, micro USB, which is non-proprietary. I don't mind a proprietary, but something more generic is good. I wish that they went with a USB-C for this latest version, but Thrunite will probably be doing that sometime in the future with another version of that light. So with all this said, let's take these out into the night and test the lights out. Okay, we're outside now. Let's start off by looking at the Black Scout Survival version 4. Start off at Firefly or Moonlight. This is 0.54 lumens. So here's what this looks like. Really can't see it out in the yard here at all, but you can see my hand obviously. Let's go up to 33 lumens. Again, you can see my hand. Really can't see a ton in the yard. I can see okay with this looking out into the yard. You know, I definitely wouldn't want to be trying to really clearly spot something. So looking over here at the chairs, you can see them a little bit now on the camera. But definitely not a ton of light. Let's go up to 350. So there's 350. Now you can see out into the yard. Definitely quite a wide light at 350. Now we're going to go up to, I believe it's 1426. Yeah, we'll go up to 1426 here now. So here's 1426. Gives quite a large amount of light actually vertically. So, and you can actually absolutely see a couple rings here. I don't know if you can make it out on camera, but I can definitely see like the main ring and then a little outer ring as well. So this is 1426. Okay, now we'll go up to the highest, which is 2523. Don't know if you can hear the owl that's off in the woods, but there's an owl off to the right here. So that's 2523. I can definitely see, you know, fine over to that stone wall, which is about 80 feet away, 90 feet away. And I could see fine all around here in the yard. So that's 2523. Show you the strobe real quick. So strobe warning. All right, we've got the Olight now. I'll start off at 1 lumen here. So this is your Moonlight or Firefly. So I can't see anything in the yard, but that's 1. Let's go up to 15 here. There's 15 on my hand. Let's look at the chairs again. Can't really pick anything up on camera. I can see them like fine or okay, I would say with the human eye, and we're looking at about, they're probably 35, 40 feet away. Let's go up to 120 now, 120 lumens. You can start to see out in the into the yard. Definitely has a hotter center and then an additional ring. It's very clear the center versus the secondary ring. This is a 120. All right, next up here we have 500. So definitely you're gonna, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera as much. Let me see here. I mean, you definitely have this hotter center, and then it's weird because it's not so much like spill, it's like a secondary ring after that. So this is the 500 again. Look around here. All right, now we'll go up to turbo, 1750. Here we go, turbo. So I'll tell you, the first thing I can say here is definitely a much tighter center ring here, hotter ring, or hotter center, I should say, for the OLED as opposed to the Black Scout Survival. Now that you've seen this, let's try them side by side. So we'll start off with the Firefly just to show you. Here's Firefly for the Olight. And then for the Black Scout Survival here. So nothing too fancy there. We'll start working our way up. So looking out into the darkness of the yard, you can't really see a whole lot at the lower settings. So we'll try that at a, like off the side of the house a little bit. Let's go up to the slightly higher settings. So this is the medium for Black Scout Survival. And then over here we got the medium for the Olight. This is the Olight Black Scout Survival. And look at the chairs again. Olight Black Scout Survival. Let's go up to the high here. So here's high for Olight. Here's high for Black Scout Survival. And now we'll do turbo for the Olight and turbo for Black Scout Survival. So here's turbo for the Olight. And now for the Black Scout Survival. So side by side, you can't tell a huge difference as far as the output when it comes to lumens, but you can definitely see that it's much more floody for the Black Scout Survival than for the Olight. Olight has a much hotter center. Let me show you the Black Scout Survival with the red light on now. So here's Black Scout Survival. Looking at these chairs with the red light on turbo. So again, much more subtle. Like I can see, I would put it back into the okay category, but that red will definitely save your night vision. The other thing I want to show you is with the striker bezel. So that more aggressive bezel put onto the Black Scout Survival, because it does affect what the actual light looks like. So you can't see it really clearly here on camera, and it's a little hard to even see in person, but you definitely see the shape of the kind of star-like shape because of the aggressive bezel, which you can see here. All right, we're gonna test these guys side by side now a little bit, and then individually looking at my front door in my house. It's about 35 feet away. Olight on the right, Black Scout Survival on the left. So for the Moonlight or Firefly, both of them you can't really pick up on camera. It's pretty much equal, I would say. Now at the low setting, here's Olight and Black Scout Survival. Next setting up. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious that the Black Scout Survival, even with the aggressive bezel, has more of a flood effect to the light than the Olight. Definitely has a much hotter center. Next level up. And now at the turbo level for both lights. All right, we're back here and we're wrapping up talking about the Olight Warrior Mini 2 and the Black Scout Survival version 4 in camouflage. Let's talk about price point. Very similar. So $79.95 currently at the Thrunite website and $89.95 if you pick this up on Amazon. You can get this for closer to like $66 if you get like the Flat Dark Earth or the black version. so a little bit more for the camouflage. Which of these do I pick? It honestly depends on what your application is, right? So overall, I do like the amount of output that this has, and that it has a broader light as opposed to this one. This one definitely has a hotter center, and I want a little bit broader light if I'm carrying a light this big or even this big. So this one, kind of as far as preference, I would choose this one. I do think that the Warrior Mini 2, I gotta keep looking because there's so many Warriors and Minis and Pros and stuff, but the Warrior Mini 2, what I do like about it is that it's a little bit smaller, as you can see. I do like that ring, actually, you know, just to be shining the light and then kind of like drop it out of the way, do something with my hands, and then I can go back to grabbing onto it and using it. It is a little bit smaller, so when it sits in your pocket, it's just a little bit more comfortable. I do like the fact that it has that switchback type of clip, so you can put that on your hat as well. Price point, like I said, it's pretty much a break even. Proprietary charging versus the micro USB, kind of a break even on that one. I mean, it's not just like this one has 200 more lumens, right? This is at, like, say 2500 and 1700. Like, there's a significant difference between these two. So I do think the additional output is really nice for this. I do also like the aggressive bezel just for EDC carry, and then the red lens. I think that's a win. I'd like to see Olight. They have offered very few lenses like that as far as your outputs for different colors. The Freyer they offered, I'm sure there's a couple others, but I'd love to see some lenses you could put on a Baton or, you know, a Warrior Mini, something like that. So I do think that's a win for this. They both come with a battery, both rechargeable, they're both EDC friendly. I do think for some people this is going to be too big for everyday carry, but for me this works. It's a little bit bigger even with the bezel, so if you take that off it's a little bit more compact, but that's fine for me for everyday carry. One thing I do like on both of them is that you can go to turbo with your end pressure switch, boom, immediately. So I just think that's a win. The other thing about this one is that I wish they would magnetize these two fins, so you would have a magnetic end and also a end pressure switch that is rubberized. Not as big a fan of the metal pressure switch. It's not terrible, but I definitely like the rubberized pressure switch more. So, you know, end of the day, if you need something that's more compact with the output that's a little bit less, you can go with this. If you want more of the output, the 2500 give or take, and you know, the size is an issue as far as, you know, what how this rests in a bag or if you're carrying your pocket, then the Black Scout Survival I do like. I do like the logo and just the general look of that camo. It's pretty unique, but you know, depends on your application and what you're looking for. I think the overall function of the light as it's punching out into the night, I do like the Black Scout Survival. This one's just got too much of a hot center and then not enough spill out from that center. I have links down below in the description section if you want to purchase either one of these lights. Let's hear your thoughts on the Black Scout Survival version 4 from Thrunite in this camouflage and the Warrior Mini 2 from Olight. This one's in black. There are a couple different colors. This one goes from like 90 bucks up to about 140 depending on what color you get it in. There's like a rainbow, there's like a silver, there's a flat dark earth. I think flat dark earth is similar in cost, around 90 bucks. And some of the other ones are more expensive and more limited. So yeah, let's hear your thoughts and your feedback in the comment section, and let's get that conversation started now. Alright guys, thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.